So I'm so excited to start another book, and I added one more book to my spooky TBR for October. Technically the end of September, beginning of October. She's also a thin book. Never saw the movie Hellraiser. Obviously I know who Pinhead is. Any horror fan would know. So I definitely know. Just never seen the movie. But before I watched the movie, I wanted to dive into Clive Barker's world and read the book that was based off that. So many modes and so many new things when it comes to horror. So I'm excited to start this. So this is the book I'm going to read after the last one, which was Judy Blume Blubber. That's a huge flip and switch, but yeah, come start it with me. So in a nice, cool bed, because it's hot in freaking Texas, I got my Muppets animal socks on. I love socks, so the gift that you can win with me, and it's never a wrong choice, is socks. I have so many socks as it is, but I'm going to be using my magnifier because I love it. The font is big. Yay! So I'm gonna get through this in a week, so I'll read between 2 to 3 chapters a day.
The box. You opened it. We came.
It's just a puzzle box!
Oh no. It is a means to summon us.
Who are you?
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some. Angels to others.
This was a great Saturday. Got the windows open. It's not as stiflingly hot in Texas like it usually is. Really low key. And this bad boy I'm finishing in record time for me. Only got 2 more chapters left. I'm on chapter 10, and this only has 11 chapters. So yeah, and then after this, I'm making my October scary movie list, what I'm going to watch in October, and Hellraiser 1 is definitely going to be on it because I want to compare the book to the movie since I've never seen the movie. But yeah, almost done, and then I'll be able to do a book review. So guys, I finished the Hellbound Heart. I did it in a couple of days. It was a fast read. Can't reference the movie because I never saw the movie, but I know in the movie the cenobites is a core part of the theme and storyline. In this book, they show up like twice, and they're hardly ever there. They show up in the beginning when Frank opens up the puzzle box, and only briefly. The description's very brief. We know they have some hooks and chains and they're disfigured, but Clive Barker really doesn't explain what they do to him. He gives us the backstory of the box and how it's for people that are very sadistic. They're looking for a higher level of pleasure, but the cenobites have made it very clear that pain and pleasure or intermingle. There is no difference for them. So a lot of their pleasure type of thing is more pain based, and it sounds like it's done in eternity to this person. Kind of sounds like hell. Maybe not, because like the people actually have to choose to do it, to open the box to get that experience. So they show up in the very beginning when Frank opens the box, and they show up at the very end when Chrissy opens the box. And again, the Cenobite disappears when she's walking towards to tell me, hey, Frank's escaped your little realm there, and he's out here like saying, haha, I beat you. And they're like, hey, we'll trade your soul for his, because she did indeed open the box. So once you open it, it's a done deal. But they made a deal with her. But again, when she was walking to Frank's house, the Cenobite became like invisible or whatever, so you really didn't see them. And they did a little bit of explanation of the engineer towards the ending, another Cenobite But again, it's very, very, very brief. The core center of this particular book are the humans, how depraved and weak, and it's about the lack of humanity and a lot of humanity, I guess. So you have two brothers, Rory, he's the weak one, the over romantic, and then you have Frank, who's the depraved one, in and out of trouble, a thief, travels a lot, always trying to up the ante of pleasure, and is never satisfied. He's never satisfied. He has an insatiable appetite to the point that human can no longer satisfy his needs. So he knows what this box is about. He holds himself up in a house that him and his brother inherited, in a room trying to open this box. He knows what he's in for, and he wants it wholeheartedly. And then you have Julia, the wife of Rory, beautiful, breathtaking. However, she's melancholy. You know, she can't stand the life she has with Rory. He's boring. But she hooked up with his brother, the bad boy, her wedding night. So they only cheated that once, but she obviously has been thinking about him ever since then. Quick to the chase, they decide to move. No one's heard from Frank. They don't know what happened to Frank. Since he travels a lot, I guess it doesn't really faze a lot of people. But Julia and Rory moves to the house that the aunt left them, that he inherited. And Julia quickly finds in the damp room, because it's always moist and wet and never seems to get dry, she figures out that Frank is there, but he's not human. He is like literally disgusting, destroyed. Like he's like not even, yeah, he's like a spine, an eyeball, I mean, parts of himself. So he tells Julia, and she's like gung-ho, like, okay, I'll do it. He needs blood. He needs blood to regenerate himself. So she takes poor men, kind of like the very feminist badass of her. She takes men that find her attractive, and she uses her womanly charms to get him to the house, and they think they're going to, but she takes him to the room and kills him. Their blood spills everywhere, and Frank basically takes every bit of moisture, blood, everything. If it's wet, it's getting eaten. And that regenerates him, builds muscle, nerves, but he still is disgusting and oozing and wet. You definitely get that feeling that Clive Barker really, really describes Frank, disgusting body, decaying body very, very well. It's very wet and moist and icky to the point where she has to cover him with bandages. So it gets to the point that all the blood and everything is not enough. He needs a skin. Okay. She's like, well, how do we do that? He's like, oh, it's very simple. In the meantime, you know, Rory's really worried about his wife, Julia, because she's acting weird. Obviously, she's killing people left and right in your house. So he has this, and Christy, I'm not sure who she is. At first, I thought maybe she's a daughter, but the way she describes Rory is in such a loving way, like she's pining for him. So I don't know if it's a colleague that he works with, a college student that, I don't know what, that's a mystery. But she's younger, but she's awkward. But he asked her to go over to the house and like check on Julia because he's kind of worried about her. She's not her peppy self. So she goes over there. She sees a guy's coat on a hanger, and she puts two and two together. She's like, oh, she's cheating on him, but I need more evidence. She comes back another day, and she unfortunately comes across when Frank is killing somebody, and she realized she sees him, and there's no glamour or anything like that. He can't make her see something else. She sees what he is, a disgusting blob, a domination, and she really escaped up with her life, and she threw the box at a window, which broke it, which distracted Frank because obviously that box means a lot to him. She runs out And which picks up the box, runs, and then she gets overwhelmed and she faints and she ends up in the hospital. In the hospital, that's where she figures out how to open up the box, and that's when she meets the main cenobite, and that's when she makes a deal with the devil, say, hey, did you know your boy Frank is still in the real world? He escaped. And that's when they made a deal that, hey, if that's true, I'll take him and I'll let you go. So they go to the house. Frank already took Rory's face because Rory came home and he kind of put two together and he's like, she's cheating, but if she comes clean, I'll forgive her. Of course you will. So she literally comes because she don't care anymore. Her nihilism and apathy is at a level that she's almost like a psychopath, a sociopath, I don't know, but she lost all humanity dealing with Frank. So she told him the truth, she's like, hey, come upstairs, check it out yourself. The minute she said that, I'm like, oh, you're the skin. Oh, he's gonna take you, bro. Dude, you about to get killed. And that's what happened. Basically, Rory got killed by his brother Frank. He took his skin. So when she came there and the Cenobite, who's also still invisible, they saw Frank's skin, right? And then she kind of put the puzzles together. So, oh shit, I'm about to go to hell. They're like, give me your soul. You're coming. You lost. And then she's like, quickly, wait. That's not Rory. That's Frank wearing his skin. Because she pulled the skin down a little bit and revealed him. And then again, part of their deal is that the Cenobite told her if Frank confesses himself that that's him, then okay, we'll let you go. And that's what happened. You know, his ego got the better of him. He's like, yes, I'm Frank, but from now on, I'll be Rory. And the Cenobite's like, oh, he got caught. But the cool thing about it is that they didn't care that she was still in the house. It's like, honey, if you don't get out, you're going to be part of the whole entire thing. Julia got killed. Frank didn't care about her. I already knew that. He was just using her because he ate her too after he stabbed her by accident because he was trying to stab Chrissy. But she got away, killed. And then she's like, help. After he took the knife out of her to kill Christy, he's like, you're gonna die. Let me eat you. And then she was like in her wedding dress, decapitated. The engineer took over her body, whatever. But Chrissy got out the house alive, but now she's the owner of the puzzle box to, I guess, decide who the next victim will be to try to open it. I enjoyed it. It wasn't scary. It was just gross, but I give it a 4 out of 5. Definitely read.